I am James Cooper McKee, surgeon, United States Army. I have seen wounds that bleed, and I have seen wounds that do not. The second kind are the ones that stay with a man. What I am about to speak of was such a wound. It was not inflicted by the enemy, but by our own command. It was the humiliation of Fort Fillmore and the surrender of a United States force that never had the chance to fight. The man responsible was Major Isaac Lynde. Before I go further, I will make a confession. I am not neutral, I am not detached, I am not even fair in the way a historian wishes men to be fair. I was there. I witnessed the march, the collapse, the surrender, and the shame that followed. If you want objectivity, find a newspaper. If you want the truth, listen to me. In July of 1861, Major Lynde ordered the evacuation of Fort Fillmore. We marched 16 miles under the desert sun with no shade, no rest, and water that was gone by midday. I treated men whose tongues split. I treated men who could no longer speak. I saw discipline erode not from cowardice, but from thirst. I warned Major Lynde that the march was killing the men faster than the Confederates ever could. Others warned him as well. He marched us anyway. At San Agustín Springs, where there was no water, no shade, and no advantage of any sort, he halted the column. Even a junior officer could have told you to avoid such a place, but that is where we stopped, and that is where we waited. When Captain Baylor's Texans appeared, they found us in a state that would have astonished any competent commander. But let me tell you something plainly. They did not have the advantage. We outnumbered them. We outgunned them. We had 500 rifles, and although our men were exhausted, they were not unwilling. Our enlisted men said so. They said it in words as clear as any sermon. Let us fight. They never got the chance. No volleys were fired. No maneuvers were ordered. No effort was made to test the strength of the line or the spirit of the men. Major Lynde raised the white flag, and 500 armed soldiers of the United States surrendered to fewer than 400 Texans in open country, under a sky we could have owned had we been led by a man possessing even ordinary resolve. I treated the men after the surrender. I gave water where I could. I tended to the delirious and the humiliated. I saw no cowards among them. Only soldiers denied the chance to do their duty. Humiliation is not listed as a medical condition, but I have seen its symptoms, and they are not easily forgotten. Months later, the Army convened a court-martial. I testified. Others testified. The record spoke for itself. Major Lynde surrendered without exhausting the means of defense. He was dismissed from the service. Some said the decision was harsh. I said it was lenient. An officer may lose a battle through misfortune. He may lose it through superior force. But to lose it through want of resolution is a different kind of failure altogether. Years passed, and as they always do, defenders emerged. Editors and sympathizers attempted to rehabilitate the man in print. They spoke of heat, they spoke of exhaustion, they spoke of inevitability. I read their arguments. I rejected all of them. If that rejection springs from pride, then let me be proud. Better pride than surrendering men who still have fight in them. So now I arrive at my second confession. I am biased. I am emotional. I am wounded by memory. But do not mistake bias for falsehood. Bias born of experience is closer to truth than neutrality born of absence. History may one day soften toward Major Lynde. I will not. For I remember the day the white flag went up before the rifles were fired and before the honor of the men was tested, and I remember that some wounds do not bleed and some wounds do not heal. This account is respectfully submitted, as always, by your obedient servant, Surgeon James Cooper McKee.